hunger meets Shaniqua.
Shaniqua snaps. Schumer don't care. You take what's yours. Schumer forgot who he is.
Shaniqua's Snapped, in theaters now.
42 million Americans just lost their food stamps, and the Democrats could care less. But here's what they don't want you to know. While real families suffer, the SNAP system is hemorrhaging billions to fraud dead people collecting benefits, illegals getting 65% more money than American citizens. 21 blue states refusing to hand over data that would expose the scam. Secretary Brooke Rollins just blew the lid off the scandal with over 100 arrests already made. Even Democrat Senator John Fetterman admits his party owns this disaster. The shelves are empty, the cards are dead, and the truth is finally coming out, so stay with me. While millions of Americans struggle to put food on the table during the SNAP crisis, taking care of your health becomes even more critical. Stress from financial hardship can age you rapidly, but there is something you can do about it. In a recent clinical trial, women who took 2.5 grams of collagen peptides daily for 8 weeks saw a 25% reduction in eye wrinkle depth. That's real science, not government promises. My friends at BioTrust understand that when times are tough, you need products that actually deliver. Their ageless multi-collagen uses 5 premium types of collagen to reduce wrinkles and improve skin elasticity. I've seen the results myself: smoother skin, fewer fine lines, and better joint health. While Democrats let the SNAP system collapse under fraud and dysfunction, you can take control of your own wellness. For a limited time, grab BioTrust Ageless Multi-Collagen for 51% off at healthwithgary.com. You'll also get free VIP coaching, a free skin health ebook, and a 60-day guarantee. Visit healthwithgary.com. It's linked down below. Now it looks like Walmart, it's beginning, folks. This is what we have warned about. We just got this. Walmart not playing around. They have extra cops on duty now. Check this out. Extra cops on duty to prevent stealing.
Gonna steal out of Walmart. Walmart ain't playing. Y'all see. Walmart is not playing with y'all lazies. I thought y'all said y'all gonna steal out of Walmart. Nah, y'all ain't gonna steal out of Walmart. We got too much police around here. I told y'all ladies.
Did you see that? Did you see that? Look closer. Let me see if we can get a shot of that.
Walmart ain't playing. Y'all see.
Walmart ain't playing, that's for sure. Here, check this out. Watch. Does it appear that those are those windows boarded up, or is that just backlighting? I can't tell. It almost looks like the windows are boarded up at Walmart. I don't know, maybe you guys can help decipher that visual. But one thing is clear, the cops are out. Now it's been exposed. Nearly 1/3 of Los Angeles County's 3.3 million households, a third, rely on EBT welfare benefits. Gavin Newsom and Democrats have officially failed the people. EBT is not meant to be a way of life. We have some serious issues. This post by Eric Daugherty. Listen.
I'm here at the Kia Forum parking lot where the Los Angeles Regional Food Bank has set up temporary food relief for families and individuals whose SNAP benefits have been affected by the government shutdown. Now, 2 U.S. judges yesterday did order the Department of Agriculture to release contingency funding to restart the SNAP benefits. But those funds may not reach families who are hungry for up to a week.
SNAP CalFresh benefits are not going out. We have nearly 1 million households in Los Angeles County that rely on CalFresh benefits. So this is the first of many large-scale distributions. So here we have volunteers, over 120 volunteers, who are all lined up to distribute frozen chicken.
This is all because the Democrats won't vote to reopen the government, folks.
Shelf-stable food items, pantry items, yogurt, carrots, potatoes, apples.
Our elected officials are letting us down because, we vote and put these people in office, and they tend to get a personal vendetta going with each other and forget about the main thing, which is the people.
We'll be serving 5,000 households, and we do expect that we will run out of food, sadly. There are other food pantries throughout Los Angeles County that we partner with that are also distributing food today. There's distributions pretty much every day in the week throughout Los Angeles County.
You can read more about the Los Angeles
Emergency food distribution has been activated in Los Angeles County. where a third of the households rely on EBT. 3.3 million households. Here's a woman who's asking if the church will give back her tithes and offerings now that EBT is delayed.
And they'll give me my money. I have a serious question for you all. Since my food stamps have been cut off on November and December, do you think if I ask the church for all my tithes and offering, they'll give me my money back? I only have one bag of late quarters in my freezer.
Yeah, you're going to have to talk to the church about that one. Here's another. We live in a society where stealing from stores and bragging about it online is the new flex. Thank you, Democrats. Look at this. Oh, and they're dancing to the thong song. They cut EBT. So, of course, we had to play Sticky Fingers in the grocery store. They're bragging about stealing from the grocery store. Holding, looks like chicken. And twerking for the camera. This is where we live right now. This is the new America. No SNAP November is heating up. Here's two women caught on camera stealing 2 carts full of products and stuffing them into their car. Where are the police?
Active robbery in progress. BJ's Concord. Gray Pontiac. Celeste Silver.
They are outside.
You can hear the police officer narrating what's going on. Clearly, he's got them. He's got their license plate. He's got their likeness. He's got their car. I don't think that these folks are going to last very long.
Hope y'all like jail.
So should we have everybody be stealing? Cleveland user?
They just got caught on camera, and they don't even care. Here's a New Mexico woman admitting to being on SNAP benefits for 3 decades, says the delays are detrimental to her life if she doesn't get them. 3 decades she's been on SNAP benefits.
I have your pen. The first thing I did was grab my phone and call, and when I heard $0, my chest went into my throat.
Maggie Aragon has been a SNAP recipient for more than 3 decades. Even with these benefits, she says she also relies on food banks to get enough food.
I have depended on those benefits since the 1990s, and it's detrimental to my life if I don't get them.
There are more than 460,000 New Mexicans using SNAP benefits. Tonight, some of them telling us they don't have those right now. Friday, Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham announced $30 million in state funds would be used to supply SNAP users starting November 1st.
We're going to choose feeding families over politics in New Mexico. We're going to do that right now.
The first thing I did.
Democrat New Mexico governor is going to choose feeding families over politics. While in Washington, D.C., Chuck Schumer doesn't care. Okay. If a federal judge can make, Lydia Moynihan, if a federal judge can make a ruling about SNAP, why can't she also demand the Democrats reopen the government? Republicans want funding for SNAP, but they also want funding for the military, FAA, air traffic controllers, SBA, and everything else.
The 2.2. I got to say, on the point of the federal judge, I mean, if the federal judge can rule that the Trump administration reinstates food stamps, why can't she also rule that the Democrats need to reopen the government? Because I'm not just concerned about the 40 plus million Americans who are not going to have food stamps. I am also concerned about the 12,000 FAA employees who are not getting paid, about the 2.2 million military members not getting paid, about the $2.5 billion in SBA loans that are not getting distributed. And the bottom line is the Republicans have voted 13 times to pass a clean CR, and the Democrats will not do it. And it's because Chuck Schumer thinks
but that's a disingenuous argument. That's
is getting better
it's not
for him.
It's not just solely just the Democrats. In fact, there is reserve. You know that there's reserve that can be used to make sure that these SNAP benefits
there's reserve for every single thing that we need to do.
But the reality is that this is an issue. So you're saying, do I have to make a choice between SNAP benefits or health care? Like, why do we have to make that choice in this big, beautiful America that we live in? It's not fair just to say it's a Democratic issue.
So let's have that debate after we open up the government.
But it's not just a Democratic issue. That's a disingenuous argument. We should not be on any side in this issue. This is about people who won't be able to eat. 42 million Americans that can't eat.
So
children who will not be able to. But it's not about the
government.
Democrats. That's not a fair choice.
It is a fair choice. We would have that funding
Let's
and funding.
reopen the government. No, that's not a fair choice. Actually, yeah, it's time to do that. Here we have Madeline Riviera. The shutdown, this is Fox and Friends, the shutdown is set to enter a 6-week. A federal court says the Trump administration must restore SNAP benefits by today or issue partial payments by Wednesday. Okay, so here's the thing. The relief funds that are sitting there, what happens when those dry up? Those will last for about 3 weeks. Then what?
I think we should do the new.
Republicans and Democrats are talking, so that is a bit of progress. But the reality is neither side is ready to announce an off-ramp. So now this shutdown is poised to be the longest in U.S. history. And President Trump sounds like he's not budging, telling 60 Minutes that he won't be extorted by Democrats.
It's like it's not going to get solved, the shutdown.
It's going to get solved, yeah. Oh, it's going to get solved.
How?
We'll get it solved. Eventually, they're going to have to vote.
You're saying the Democrats will capitulate?
I think they have to. And if they don't vote, that's their problem. Now, I happen to agree with something else. I think we should do the nuclear option. This is a totally different nuclear, by the way. It's called ending the filibuster.
Senate Majority Leader John Thune, though, has defended the filibuster, and his position on that has not changed. The shutdown causing massive headaches at airports, which have been bogged down by staffing shortages. There were several ground delays at airports across the country over the weekend. Those ground delays continuing this morning. As of right now, there have been nearly 500 delays and more than 40 cancellations per data from FlightAware. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy warns the situation could get worse if air traffic controllers take up other jobs to make up for missed paychecks.
And that's exactly what they're doing. They're driving Uber instead of guiding our planes right now. Here's a Treasury Secretary Bissett explaining the singular path that exists for Democrats to end the Schumer shutdown and restore federal benefits.
Let's just start with this. I have not yet heard from the president on his plan. Joining us now to discuss this and much more, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Secretary Bessent, thank you so much for being here. Always a pleasure. So let's just start with this SNAP ruling, because 2 federal judges ruled Friday night the White House must tap into the contingency funds to partially cover SNAP benefits that expired this weekend due to the shutdown. Yesterday, the court clarified that at least a partial payment needs to be made by Wednesday. When can we expect the Trump administration to make these payments?
Oh, well, President Trump just truthed out that he needs to hear from the courts how this is going to be done. And Jake, as you know, the best way for SNAP benefits to get paid is for Democrats, 5 Democrats, to cross the aisle and reopen the government.
Right, but there is this contingency fund, and as recently as September 30th, the Agricultural Department had a matter. I have not yet heard from the president on his plan.
But of course, what happens when that dries up? It's a temporary fix. It's a Band-Aid. Republicans aren't trying to end the government shutdown, says Representative Jason Crow. They're not trying. Yeah. Colorado's 6th district.
Trump. I mean, look. Well, you don't have to be looking too hard at this place to understand that Mike Johnson and House Republicans have decided to prostrate themselves to the altar of Donald Trump. I mean, look, the hall behind me is empty. I'm sitting 20 feet from the chamber of the House of Representatives.
It's because they've done their job. They don't need to do anything else. They've already passed the clean CR, and it's now on the Senate side to do their job. And now we have this. On top of all of the SNAP failures, corruption exposed. USDA Secretary Rollins calls to overhaul the EBT program as massive fraud and corruption is exposed.
And a war day one of USDA, February 13th, is we sent letters to every governor in America being very clear that no illegal aliens can use SNAP. 0, 0, 0. We asked every state for the first time in history, and this was in February, to send us their data and let us, with DOJ and a war room, actually start going through this data to better understand how this explosion of SNAP benefits happened under Joe Biden. We increased almost 40% on this program in just a couple of years under the Biden administration. Of course, we know they were trying to buy the election, but that's a conversation for another time. And since we have asked for that data, 29 states have complied. Of course, almost all the red states, a couple of couple blue states too. But in that data, and I haven't talked about this yet publicly, in that data we've studied about $100 billion in spend. We have found thousands and thousands of illegal use of the EBT card. We have been moving people off of SNAP. We've got almost 700,000 people, I think, we've moved off just since the president took office. We've arrested about 118 people. So this has been ongoing. But, Rachel, to your point, what this conversation has allowed is a national spotlight on a broken and corrupt program. We found one guy in 6 different states getting a benefit. We found about 5,000 people that are dead who are still getting benefits. Like, it is time to drastically reform this program so that we can make sure that those who are truly needy, truly vulnerable, are getting what they need, and the rest of the corruption goes away, and we can serve the American taxpayer. Day one.
Leeches on the system, sucking it dry. Here is President Trump. This was 72 hours ago. Truth Social. Our government lawyers do not think we have the legal authority to pay SNAP with certain monies we have available. Now, 2 courts have issued conflicting opinions on what we can and cannot do. I do not want Americans to go hungry just because the radical Democrats refuse to do the right thing and reopen the government. Therefore, I have instructed our lawyers to ask the court to clarify how we can legally fund SNAP as soon as possible. It's already delayed enough due to the Democrats keeping the government closed through the monthly payment date. And even if we get immediate guidance, it will unfortunately be delayed while states get the money out. If we are given the appropriate legal direction by the court, it'll be my honor to provide the funding, just like I did with military and law enforcement pay. The Democrats should quit this charade where they hurt people for their own political reasons and immediately reopen the government. If you use SNAP benefits, call the Senate Democrats and tell them to reopen government now. Here's crying Chuck Schumer's office number. There it is on the screen right there for you. Okay. Here's more. Radical left Democrats. Here's the press secretary. Radical left Democrats have shut our government down and held the American people hostage for 32 days in a row.
2 days. Let's talk about what we are dealing with here. Radical left Democrats who have shut our government down and held the American people hostage for 32 days in a row. We have air traffic controller shortages all over this country. Half of our nation's major airports are suffering from severe delays as we head into the busiest travel months of the season. We have 500,000 federal workers who are going unpaid. SNAP benefits have expired. Only because of President Trump finding a legal maneuver are our troops continuing to be getting paid. If it were up to the Democrats, our military and our law enforcement would not be receiving their paychecks like the rest of the federal government workforce. And Democrats are not showing any sign of wanting to reopen the government. They want to give taxpayer-funded benefits to illegal aliens. These are crazed people that President Trump and Republicans are having to deal with, and that's why President Trump has said Republicans need to get tough, they need to get smart, and they need to use this option to get rid of the filibuster, to reopen the government and do right by the American public. We know, Maria, based on the polling and based on common sense, that the vast majority of this country wants the government reopened. That's what President Trump is willing to do. That's what he wants, and he's willing to use any lever to make it happen. Let's talk about what we are dealing with here.
Dealing with lunatics. But of course, I've said this before. They want the chaos.
And they vote.
President Trump, Air Force One.
All we have to do is open up the country. You know, we voted 14 times to open the country. We have voted 14 times to open the country. and they vote to keep it closed. All they have to do is vote to open the country, and we only need 5 Democrats. They have a lot of Democrats. We only need 5. But the Republicans have voted 14 times to open the country.
We just need 5 Democrats. New data shows illegals in New York are being paid more on SNAP food stamps than American citizens. Illegals receive 65% more money for food than American citizens.
About $7. Well, now that SNAP and EBT ran out, this one's going to blow your mind because migrants in New York City were getting more food money per day than actual American citizens. And yeah, that was actually a thing. The average American on SNAP and EBT gets about $7.59 per person per day to buy food. But the city of New York was handing out prepaid food debit cards to recently arrived migrants, many of whom were here without legal status, worth about $12.52 per person per day. That means migrants in New York City shelters were receiving 65% more in daily food benefits than American families, trying to get by in the exact same city. And here's the part nobody talks about. That $12.52 isn't even a federal program. It's not SNAP, it's not EBT, it's paid for by the New York City taxpayers. The city doesn't even give an extra food card for struggling citizens, to seniors on fixed incomes, to homeless veterans sleeping on the same streets, but show up yesterday without documentation and you're prioritized. This isn't about compassion, it's about political choices. And those choices are telling you exactly where American citizens land on the priority list, which is dead last. Do you think this is a right move by New York City to give more money to illegal aliens than it is to actual Americans? Let me know in the comment section. Appreciate you.
Yeah, that's how bad it's gotten, friends. Here, American citizens should not be forced to pay for this. Amiri King.
Look, I'm gonna club with all my bitches. This shit overly loaded. All these rats on me, I can't even hold them. Sheesh. Look at that motherfucker. Look at that motherfucker.
Oh my Lord. Look at that.
Loaded. 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 Load.
Wow. Disgraceful. Here's Jasmine Crockett. What's she saying?
That means that I will agree that there are too many American people that are on SNAP benefits. But that means that you got to not look necessarily at SNAP. You got to look at the reasons that they're on SNAP. We know that over 1/4 of these people that are in receipt of SNAP benefits are actually the working poor in this country, right? We have not increased the minimum wage, and I don't know when, and the minimum wage still sits at $7 while everything else is going up, whether we're talking about the cost of food or whether we're talking about the cost of rent or whether we're talking about the cost to actually try to engage in home ownership if we're talking about the interest rates. And we know that under the failed leadership of this...
Okay, I'm done listening to you. Jasmine Crockett. Yeah, there she is, everybody. Here's Fetterman.
That 42 million, deeply distressing to know that 42 million Americans are going to lose their SNAP benefits. And now that's one of the big reasons why I refuse to shutting our government down. And again, I feel like the Democrats really need to own the shutdown. Deeply distressing.
Democrats need to own the shutdown. Here we have this. More Americans reporting their stores basically empty now. The EBT food stamps funding is being paused. 43 million Americans on SNAP means 1 in 8 are on food stamps. This video must have been recorded during working hours as everyone with jobs will still come after work. Let's see what this is. Stores on November 1st with no EBT. Looks pretty loaded up there. But it's empty. So I think the point is that there's no one here. Meaning no one is shopping. Let's see here. We have this. The level of fraud is staggering. Oh, that was Secretary Rollins. We played that clip already. But Elon Musk responding that the level of fraud is staggering. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. Now, this is not just incompetence, it's engineered chaos. Democrats created a system so broken, so corrupt, that when they shut it down, America bleeds. Think about the evil genius of it. They expanded SNAP by 40% under Biden, got millions hooked on government cheese, and pulled the plug to create maximum pain. 21 blue states won't even let us see who's stealing benefits. Dead people are eating better than working families. Illegals get 65% more than citizens. And when you can't buy milk, they're protecting millions for Uganda's LGBT programs. When liberal Walmart shoppers noticed something amazing, when EBT cars went dead, the $1,000 shopping carts disappeared. Suddenly, everyone's buying normal amounts with cash. Well, so here's my question. Should states that refuse fraud investigations lose all federal food funding? Yes or no? Let's have a conversation in the comments. And remember, while they play Hunger Games with your family, our merch shop helps keep real news alive. You'll find it linked in the description.